What's up, y'all? It's your boy Beasley here. Hope you all are staying cool, calm, and collected out there. I'm coming at y'all today with a review of The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 5, Episode 19, the season finale. Y'all, I'm glad it's over. I'm just about over it. I will say they ended with a bang. But one thing I'm starting to notice, and not just with the Potomac Housewives, but the Housewives overall as a franchise, one thing I've noticed is it's like the girls have been on the show for an extended amount of time, so everybody is walking around without a storyline. So what they do is they take an issue that happens between at least two or more cast members, and they make that issue their issue, and they stretch it out through the entire season. And in my opinion, that's just lazy production. And they either do that or they just get the girls all liquored up like they do in the New York Housewives, just to create a scene, give them liquid courage so they can do something crazy and outrageous to entertain us. And it's getting a little lazy, Bravo. It's starting to be not as entertaining as it used to be. I don't really get my life with the Housewives anymore. But I will say this episode was on point, and I gotta give it to them. They went out without a bang. So let's go ahead and get into it. We start off with this episode, and then we see Robin. She is throwing a Christmas party for all her friends and families. She says that they do it every year, and to my knowledge, she never had a Christmas party on the show. But then again, I don't think they ever filmed during Christmas time. I think they only filmed that much due to the fact that I think it was Corona season. I don't know. But besides the woman empowerment events that Robin had, she's never really done anything else on this show. So I guess it was something nice to highlight. And in Giselle's confessional, she calls Juan to make sure that he's going to be there and he's going to propose to Robin. So we see Monique go on down to therapy, and then she sits down with this therapist, and she talks about the fact that she was bullied a lot growing up. She correlates her childhood to the fact that she's always had to be on defense mode throughout her whole entire life. She went to a predominantly white school, and I relate to her on this one, because she went to a predominantly white school, was bullied by the white kids. Then she went to a majority black school, and she had that white Valley girl accent or whatever, and they bullied her for that. And then it's just she didn't really ever fit in anywhere. And then fast forward to today, she comes to these group of girls who were all jealous of her. Let's keep it real. And she's not able to form a genuine bond with any of them because they're all just looking at her like her ish doesn't stink. And I relate to her on that because growing up, I went to a predominantly first grade, I was at an interracial school that my mom worked at, and then I got switched to another school that was closer to my house. It was nothing but white people, and I would say there was probably two black girls, one black girl and one mixed girl, but I wasn't really fooling with either one of them, and I just did not fit in. And then my mom took me out because I had a racist teacher. So, and then I went over to an interracial school, and I had a hard time kind of fitting in there. It took me a while to get my groove, but I eventually found it. But then again, the bullying happened again in middle school, so that's a whole nother story. Not to get off topic, but she basically is always in defense mode, and she's tired. And she's also in the confessional. They ask her if she's remorseful for the fight against her and Candace, and she says she's remorseful for her actions, but she does not feel bad about her defending herself. So then we see Ashley and Michael. They're taking their grandbaby Dean to a photo shoot, and I believe it's his 5-month photo shoot or 6-month. I don't really remember, but they're having a good old time, and it's just. That is legit Michael's clone. That baby. I mean, he's starting to look a little like Ashley too, but that legit, that is Michael in a bib. Literally. So then they talk about how Candace is basically playing the victim, and Michael kind of has a bone to pick with both Candace and Robin, because he had an issue with Robin back when he caught saying that he was going to give Juan fellatio, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. And then I think it was both Robin and Candace that kind of called him out on it. I don't really fully remember. But then Ashley then talks about how Juan is going to propose to Robin. And then Michael, who's sitting there like a little mistress, oh, he's not going to do that. I already know for a fact that that is not the road he's headed down. And then Ashley's sitting there why? What did he tell you to make you think that? And then he's oh, I can't say. And she's are you sure? Like, are you sure there's something you want to tell me? And he was just like, oh, like, no, I just, don't worry about it. Just know that he's not proposing to Robin. And I'm just like, he's like, Michael was the 7th housewife in this episode. Like, we haven't seen Michael turn up this whole season up until, like, this episode. He's like, I'm going to show out. He's going to make sure he shows his ass in every single season, no matter what. So then we see Candace and her mom. Her mom, like, barely talked this season. But we see them getting their nails done, and Candace is, like, mad in her confessional about Karen because she considered Karen, like, another mother figure. Basically, like, when her and her actual mom were on the outs, like, Karen was the one, like, that had her side and was, like, coaching her through her issues. And they also talk about Candace, like, potentially moving into a house that she knows damn well she can't afford, and how it's going to be, like, the nest for her to have kids. Like, she's basically, like, preparing for motherhood. So we see Karen, she's packing for her trip to HSN. She's going to sell her La Dame fragrance, and I just got to give it to her. Like, HSN, like, a lot of people, like, I used to think HSN was very dated. Like, why in 2020 do we have, like, a home shopping network? Like, people are really at home watching this, and people are. Like, when you get on that show, like, your sales get boosted. So kudos to her. So we then see, let's see. Oh, also before I go, she talks about how the fact that the girls ambushed her, and she's kind of like annoyed, like, I would have not ambushed Candace. And they showed the text message saying that Monique was to come at 4 and Candace was to come at 6:30. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. Like, Karen, girl, I love you, but you lying. Like, you lying, girl. And now I'm kind of starting to see why Candace got all amped up the way she did. So we see Robin and Juan, they go on down to couples therapy, and then Robin gives the rundown of, like, how they basically got together. They basically like high school sweethearts and have been together their entire lives. Problem number 1. And then she talks about how, like, when Juan was basically on the road playing basketball, like, he was out doing his thing, and then she was going through depression, and she was, like, with her kids. Basically, like, they were living like, completely separate lives. Like, he was barely at home. Problem number 2. So, Robin reveals, I did not know that she was the one that filed for divorce. I thought it was Juan that filed for divorce because Robin messed up their money in that Ponzi scheme that their friend put them in. Like, I did not know that she was the one that filed divorce, but she basically, got into the fact that, like, Juan just was not there for the kids, and he took offense to that. And then she was like, I'm sorry, but, like, no, like, you weren't really there that often. And then Juan then admits that, like, the marriage failed because he didn't do his part, and he ended up cheating because she put a wall up. You know, like, it wasn't even just sex for him. Like, he wasn't even getting any type of emotion or intimacy or passion. So he went out and did his dirt, and he's very regretful for it. Like, it was a very good scene to, like, watch, then kind of, like, go give the rundown. But I kind of feel like them two are together not only for convenience, but I feel like they're both all each other knows, if that makes sense. Like, they never, in their adolescence, and I went through this problem too, like, they never really got to, like, date around and figure out what they like and who they really are as a person. Like, they were kind of navigating life together, which isn't bad. Like, it works out for some people, but sometimes you need to, like, separate and figure out what you like and who you are before you guys continue down a path of an unhappy marriage. So we get on down to the infamous holiday party. So Candace is on the way to sing at the party. She has a bone to pick with Karen when she gets there because despite the text that was sent to her saying her to come at 6:30, she said that Karen originally told her to come at like 5:15, 5:30, which leads me to believe at the fact that Karen was trying, or like either that or like production told Karen to try to get Monique and Candace together. And I guess since I think maybe Karen, in efforts to stay neutral, she just said like, no, I'm not going through with this, and then like went back and told Candace a different time, like come at 6:30. That way, like Monique's there at 4, like there's no way they're gonna run into each other. So I think it was like a regretful action on Karen's part. But the main problem is Karen is just she lying. Now, I've been riding with you this whole season, girl, and I'm going to continue to ride with you, but, like, Karen, you just lie for no reason. But getting back on track, Robin and Juan, they're at the venue, and then Giselle rides with her hairstylist. And she just looked like an ornament. Like, I just wasn't, whatever, Giselle. And then, let's see. So Ashley then arrives with Michael, and then she asks Giselle if Jamal is coming. You know, her armpits are sweating, like she couldn't even find an answer. But she's like, you know what? Since it's a Saturday, and you know he's a pastor, he has to work on a Sunday. And then Ashley's just like, okay, like whatever. And then they ask if Karen is coming, because in the group chat she said that her flight is delayed, and you know the girls take that and run with it, because at this point, most of the cast is like against Karen, mainly due to Candace, and it's because, once again, jealousy. Like Robin and Giselle, especially Giselle, are jealous of Karen. Giselle is jealous of anybody that's doing better than her. Like, let's be real. Like, that's what it is. Like, she just looks for any moment to kind of like take a dig at somebody that's doing better than her. So then Michael chimes in, and then he promises Robin that he's going to be on his best behavior and he's not going to drink, so we thought. And then he then shades Candace like, oh, she's going to sing? Like, what's going on? So Wendy shows up, and Robin, along with Candace, they go sit down and talk. And then Karen, they talk about Karen, how like fake she is. Like, is she even going to show up? Like, of course she's not going to show up because she doesn't want to get ambushed. I mean, she walked out of her own party. So Ashley and Giselle talk about how Michael was surprised that Juan is going to propose to Robin that night. And Giselle, she's kind of just like, oh no, like, let me get to the bottom of this, because nobody is going to mess up my best friend's engagement. So Giselle goes and she pulls Michael to the side, and she basically asks him like what's going on? Like, why are you saying that Juan is not going to propose to Robin? So Michael says that he asked Juan like if this was like a special night, and then Juan was just like, nope. I mean, it's just an ordinary night. So, and then, like, you can sense the jealousy off of, like, Michael. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Michael and Juan had relations. Something went on between them two behind closed doors. Like, my thing is, I think Juan saw last season when Michael said he would suck his dick. Juan was probably like, you suck my dick now, huh? So he probably took him up on that offer, and all of a sudden now, fast forward to today, they have such a tight bond and a close relationship. And also with the fact that, oh, like, he's not going to propose to Robin. Like, I just know it. Like, I just know he's, like, he just looked like a jealous mistress the whole night. Like, it was so funny to me. So Giselle reiterates the fact that, like, you know what, this engagement is going to happen. And then as she walks off, he's like, maybe it won't. And then Ashley's like, are you going to tell me? Like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? And then he's just like, I'm sorry. Like, if I didn't tell her, like, I was definitely not going to tell her, but I'm not going to tell you either. And I'm just like, And Ashley's like, do I have to grow a dick for you to tell me? And I'm just like, okay. So Candace, she ends up singing. The music is super, super low, but a lot of people were shading her. Like, I thought she sounded fine. Like, I thought her voice was good despite the music being low. And then, like, when the music got turned up, it kind of gave her the excuse to kind of just, like, not really sing as hard as she was. Like, she wasn't even really trying. Like, she let the track do the rest of the work. But overall, like, I got to give it to Candace. Like, even Ashley shading her in the confessional. And I'm like, Ashley, you can't sing. You tried to sing a few seasons ago, and it was a good no. Like, Candace can sing. She may need some more training, but, like, she got signed. So Robin then gets the mic, and she tells everybody the bar is open and enjoy the party. And then Juan takes the mic from her, and then he gives a little speech, and he gets down on one knee, and then you see Michael in the corner looking like just a petty Betty, just looking just so distraught, so jealous. So, like, I know my man's not about to marry this bitch. Like, that's exactly what he looked like. So after that proposal, Mike goes and takes Juan to have shots. And he's like, I'm just ready for the bachelor party. And he's like, just you and me, right? Just you and me, right? Oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, just you and me. I'm just like, bachelor party my ass. And he's like, no cameras, right? I'm like, okay. So Karen arrives and with Mr. Zatarans and all the ladies while they're taking shots. Like, Karen in her confessional says that she feels bad that actually what happened was they shuffled over to Chris at the bar, and then Chris said, like, where are you guys at? Like, you missed everything. And then Karen is a little disappointed that she missed the proposal. And then in her confessional, she's like, you know, I'm kind of sad that I missed that, because, like, it was a good moment for Robin. Like, Robin doesn't really have many moments. she doesn't have many moments at all. And I'm just like, I mean, hey, the truth. So Ashley asked Karen about like what was going on, like what happened, like what took you so long to get here, basically. And then Karen like tells them like there was a huge delay in her plane. Like I forgot what exactly she said, but something with the logistics of the plane wasn't right. Then Robin in her confessional says she felt like she didn't want to come, but like she's happy that she's there. So then Ashley then asks Karen like why did she leave her own event the other day, like her own wig launch event. And then she says she had a dinner date. And then Wendy says her event so early. She's like, if she didn't know she was leaving her event early, like how would you have like a dinner date already scheduled? Like if you weren't anticipating leaving your event early, like why would you already have a dinner date scheduled for that time when you weren't originally going to leave at that time? And then Karen was like, well, it's because it was a dinner date. Like, I can't date my man. Like, she was kind of like skirting through the whole entire question. So Giselle and Candace then proceed to grill her about the mix-up in the time. Candace is pissed, and Giselle says that Karen basically set Candace up, which, and even though I don't like Giselle, I have to agree with her. Like, it felt like Karen, it's like she just doubled back. Like, she reneged on the fact that, like, you know what, let me just stay neutral. But she was trying to sit them down. Like, she was trying to get them to talk to each other. So the camera then pans to Michael talking to Eddie. He's like, oh, yeah, you're a good-looking man. Like, you're a very good-looking man. He's like, but I'm not gay, though. I'm not gay. And I'm just like, denial is a disease. So we go back to the girls, and then Candace is kind of like causing a scene. Like, she's just like mad and angry at the fact that like you are doing this shady, underhanded stuff, and you claim to be neutral, but you're really taking Karen's side, and I mean you're really taking Monique's side. And overall, like I'm just like, Candace, not everybody's gonna be team you. Like, not everybody's going to agree with you on everything that you do. Like, people are going to have, like, not everybody's going to like you, Candace. Like, not everybody's going to take your side 100% when both of y'all were in the wrong. And it's later proven that both of y'all were in the wrong by the courts. So we see Michael, he goes over and he tells Chris, like, hey, you need to go ahead and get Candace. Like, she's acting a fool. And then Chris is like, I think you need to get the F up off me. And then Michael's like, oh, shut the F up. Listen to what I'm talking about. And then Chris turns around and damn near almost like, I think he either almost choked Michael or pushed him. But, like, it's like a big scuffle that causes a whole entire scene. And this is when Michael kind of just gets set off for the night because he's already about, like, 12 drinks in. So we then go on... So we both see Candace and Ashley calm both their husbands down. And then Ashley's like, what happened? And then Michael's like, Chris, like he pushed me. Like he tried to grab me. And then Ashley was like, are you serious? And then, yeah, like I was just telling him to calm Candace down. And it's just, he's like, I was just telling him to calm Candace down. And he just turns around and like he pushes me. Ashley then yells at Candace like, oh, so you're saying that Monique is aggressive and like, look at you, like, look at your actions. And I'm just like, yeah, she is right about that. So Chris and Candace get ushered outside. And then Karen and Ray go outside. And Karen gives Candace a hug. And she's like, you know what? Like, there's just too much drama and commotion in this group. Like, we should not be showing up in the world like this. And then Candace was like, Karen's like, we all know how to be on our best behavior. And then Candace was like, most of us know how to be on our best behavior. Which I believe was shade to Monique. But I'm like, Candace, girl, like, you acted a plumb fool up in that whole entire party. So, like, you were, like, yelling, girl. Like, calm, like, it's just annoying how, I think I'm just over the fight. Like, I don't care about it. Like, I'm interested to see how things fold out in the reunion. But overall, like, the fight is just, like, who cares? Like, who cares? You got your ass beat, Candace. Take an L. It's done. You can't go back in time and change it. You got your ass beat. Like, I'm just like over it. Like, I'm really glad this was the season finale. It was a good episode, but ugh. The ending sequence plays, and then we see Michael go back in. He's like yelling and screaming at production. He's just like, you have these people over here like always just ready to attack. Like, what kind of people are you bringing on this show? And it's like he's just going off on everybody. And then security grabs him and he's like, oh, don't touch me, don't touch me. Like, he was about to literally fight security. Like, it was a whole entire, like, commotion. And I'm just like, Michael just cannot, for some reason, just cannot control himself. Like, I just don't, like, something is really, like, he just be, like, fighting demons with liquor. Like, liquor, like they call spirits, demons possess you when you're drunk. He looked like a whole entire different person. And then it's just like, something like that would have caused me to leave Michael, but, you know, Michael in the next few weeks gave Ashley another shut-up vacation, and they're all good, and she's pregnant with her second baby. And the episode kind of like goes to a close, but then we see an interview where we see that the judge threw out the whole entire case between Monique and Candace. And Monique is kind of just like laughing at that. Like, she basically says like the court said it was basically like reality TV fodder. Like it was just like a consensual fight after reviewing the tapes. And then Candace is like kind of like distraught, like she's annoyed that it happened. And then the episode goes off. I must say, it was a great season finale. The season was a little so-so. But overall, I enjoyed it. Overall, this season I give an 8 out of 10. I don't know if I'm going to continue to review the Housewives, because to be honest with y'all, like, I don't really watch TV like that, and it's a lot to keep up with. I will say I will do reviews on episodes that stand out to me, but I kind of want to put out more content than just like Real Housewives reviews. Like, I want to do like tech reviews. I do want to talk about video games more on my channel. I want to talk about like movies, music, fashion, current events, and basically like everything that I like. So the videos are going to be more consistent moving forward. Real Housewives of Atlanta, it was boring, y'all. I don't know if I'm even going to review it. Like, I'm probably just going to watch it, but it was so boring. Like, it was just like, I understand they were in the middle of a pandemic, but and it's not even because Nene's not there, because the show was boring with Nene there as well, but that first episode just didn't give me shit, y'all. Like, it didn't give me anything. Like, and then Candy, like, hooping and hollering about child support. I'm just like, ugh. But those are my views on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to come at you guys with some more content, so stay tuned.